So I'd like to introduce you to our next speaker, Sam. Sam's had a negative relationship in the past with fear, leading to a generalised anxiety disorder. Now, this shook him to his core, but also taught him how to redefine how he related to fear, and in doing so, inspired him to help others redefine and question what their relationship with fear is, and sharing tools that he learned along this journey for you all. So, with a speech entitled, Fear, It's a Matter of Perspective, please welcome Samuel.
Anxiety was the best thing that happened for me. I used to avoid going outside my comfort zone at all costs. If fear came into the equation, if fear entered my mind, I would run, hide, and shy away. I would tell myself such limiting beliefs like, it's not for me, I can't do this, who am I to think that I could do this anyway? And I believed these thoughts 100% without ever questioning why. That decision would be taken out of my hands though, when 11 years ago I experienced my first panic attack. So I eventually managed to get home within the midst of all of this fear and panic. And my mind goes to the usual place of wanting to run and hide. I don't want to leave these four walls again. I'm feeling terrified. I just want to feel safe. But I question myself, and I question, is that an existence that I would be happy with, confined to these four walls? No. So I start to research and gather information. And in the process of doing so, I come across anxiety and the fight and flight response. And I realize that I've created this very situation that I find myself in by my limiting self-talk, by my avoidance of uncomfortable situations, and a negative relationship that I had fostered with fear. And in that moment, I decide I'm going to face this anxiety head on. Now, it got worse before it got better. I'd become that terrified of having another panic attack that my mind attached fear onto everything. On a day-to-day basis, I would blush at the smallest of social interactions. My heart would race, my head would shake. I would get intrusive thoughts like I'm losing my mind. I convinced myself I was going to die. My head raced at 100 miles an hour every second of every single day, unable to switch off, unable to sleep. I was so tired, yet so awake. I felt so broken, so fearful, so small and so torn. But I'd set myself this challenge of facing this anxiety and this fear head on. And this whole process went on for about 4 years, when eventually I found myself in the midst of another panic attack at work. And I can feel this fear, I can feel this panic growing in me. But something changed. I start shouting at this invisible force inside my head, come on then, give me your worst. I've been here thousands of times before, give me more. And in doing so, I felt this anxiety and this fear begin to lessen. So what did anxiety teach me about fear? Well, one, when we run from fear in situations that might provoke that fear in us, that fear only grows, it becomes more. Two, what we resist persists. I spent years fighting anxiety and fighting this fear in me, only for it to have a nasty habit of sticking around. And three, the only power fear really has over us is the power that we give it. The only power that fear has over us is the way we perceive it. And perception is a choice. Anxiety was the toughest of experiences, but it taught me to re-evaluate and re-establish my relationship with fear. And this is why anxiety was the best thing that happened for me. Thank you.